Hi everyone, Meza here. Welcome to my free Excel dashboard video tutorial right here on YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard. In the previous video we've looked at the overview, but right now we are about to create it from the scratch. Now here is the instruction. It's about human resources. You can read through this if you actually have it downloaded to your system and follow along as well. So right now we have our filter hidden just like what we have right here. So our filter is here. So we're trying to build our own filter without having to use our PivotTable filter like sliders wherever. So we're gonna build our own filter. If I check this job level right now, I can click on level 2. All I see is level 2 get filtered right here. All of that you can see in level 2 we have some job roles that is not really in level 2. If I go to level 5, I think we're gonna have some job roles that are not in level 5, just like this, and we have the total employees in that level, but this is not the total employee we have available right now. So now we have to check the level of attrition and see how many employees we have left in the organization, stuff like that. So the filters actually can be removed. When you click all, the filter gets removed. So I don't want to bore you with all this. So as soon as we start building this from the scratch, you will definitely understand what I'm trying to say or what you're trying to achieve right here. So let's go to the right workbook right now to actually get you started on how this works. So here we go. This is our dashboard. This is our dashboard canvas. So this is where we're gonna actually have to build a dashboard, but for now it is just not really working like the previous ones we've seen. If we click on any of this, there is no functionality on it right now, so it's not really functioning. So we're about to configure all this and see how it's gonna work together. So now this is the data source we're gonna be using today. The data source is this. So I've transformed the data source, so we don't need to transform anything, so we just have to start analyzing the data and give it what we want. So now the analysis sheet right here had been actually pre-formatted for us, so I'm going to show you how I did all this. So this is our filters and here is our analysis part. So you understand how everything goes right now. So this is what you're going to do. I want to actually remove all the job roles and get it right here. So I'm going to actually open a new worksheet. I'm going to go to the data source right here. Here is what it is. So all I need to do right now, before I actually do anything, I'm going to actually Ctrl T and transform my data into a table. Here we go. We have it into a table right now. It's more okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually come to the zone right here and hit on this particular table name and change it to what? To HR. I'm going to say underscore data. So if I hit enter, this is the name we have for this particular table right now. So after getting this name, the next thing I'm going to do right now is for we to actually see how we got this. So I'm going to copy this away from here. Now that you've copied, so I'm going to go to the extra sheet and show you how everything happens. So the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually right click and actually paste this as what? Just paste as value. So here we go, we paste it as value. So now that we have it pasted like this, just go to the top level and click on data. So here we go. So now we have to remove all duplicate away from it, and I'm gonna say okay. So we have it removed. We just in department, we have 3 departments. So all we need to do to actually create our filter, so that if we want to have our filter cleared, I'm gonna add all. So I added all to it. This is exactly what I have done right here. So if I come back to my dashboard or to the analysis sheet right here, you can see exactly what happened right here. This is sales, research and development, and human resources. So now we have it. So let's see how we can actually link this to our combo box. So what we need to do right now is to go back to HR data. The combo box is not really available right now here, so we need to create it ourselves. So I'm going to click on the top level and I'm going to go to insert. From insert, I'm going to go to insert the shapes we have right here. So we choose this particular shape. So we need to actually insert the shape. So here is our shape. For we to give the shape the color we really want, so you can actually right click and actually go and format the color to the color of our choice. So go to format shape. From format shape you can see this color, so just click on this outline and actually remove the outline. Then you can click on the top level right here and actually go to this gradient color I'm going to remove all this and remove this as well. So this is what we have left. So now I'm going to actually have to put something, this color right here. So we need to actually turn it around and make sure we're using something like this. So right now we have to give this to be white. So we have white here, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit, and I'm just going to make sure I don't want to put opacity. Now leave it like this. So we just have to make sure it's actually according to what we want. Now this is exactly what I've gotten right on my other side. So now if we go to the next, the other one we have actually completed, if I click right here, I'm going to see it appear automatically. This is what we have. So right now we need to get all this job role, department, all of that right in it. So now let us do this one by one and see how everything goes. So I'm gonna speed everything up in a jiffy, but before then let me just click and actually go right here. I'm going to go to developer. If you don't have a developer, please activate a developer, and actually let's start this together. So from there, go to insert, and when you click on insert, this is the form control we're gonna use, so we don't want to concern ourselves about this for now. So now I place my cursor right here. You see the comment box. I'm gonna actually click, and here I'm going to drag it down to the size I really want it. So if I have it dragged down like this, I'm going to actually have to leave it this way. And now we need to actually link it to something. So before we link it, what do we need to do? We need to give it a header, right? So the header we're going to give to it is for me to go to the top level. I'm going to go to insert, and here we go. I'm going to click on this, and here we have it. So I'm going to say job. So job role. So job role right here. So if I have it, you can actually bring it to the top level. So now I have to reduce the size to something very smaller. So I might choose this particular 12 point, yeah, wherever. So we can actually try this. I'm gonna put it up here. So now we've identified the filter that this one is actually going to work for us, the job role. So after that, what you need to do is actually come right here and right click on it. So when you right click on this particular one, you can see this form control right here. You click on it, and when you click on it, what is going to happen is going to pop up a particular dialog box. Here we go. Give it. So this is the box. So right now we have to impute. So we need to actually impute what we have in job role, just like we've extracted it out. I'm going to go to analysis sheet right here. Sorry, I think this is our right sheet. So I'm going to go to the analysis sheet right here. We use analysis. So now where is job role? This is the job role right here. I'm going to actually impute everything we have in the job role. And the next thing I'm going to do is click on it and go back again. So we have to link it. We are linking this right particular, I think we need to link it right here. So link it beneath it right here. And the next thing is going to be how many do we have to show among this. If you want to show everything, that is good. So now I just want to show it. For example, if I hit enter, this is what we have, right? So if I go right here now, I can see we have it being shown. So you can actually drag and see the remaining one. So if I show this, I'm gonna have two right here. Now look at it, I'm showing the second one. So now if you want to see what is actually showing up, right, what you need to do is just to come down right here and actually use index. We're just testing it out if it is working. I'm gonna say index. So my index array is gonna be from this right here. So the row number is going to be this particular row number right here. So if I hit enter, so it means I'm selecting sales executive. If I go back, I'm going to see that, yeah, really I'm selecting the sales executive. What if I select something like manager? Yeah, we select manager. So now if I go back to analysis, now we have manager selected, and this is number 7. This is what we have right here. So if I select one right now, it's going to give me all, which means the filter is being cleared. Exactly, this is what it is. I'm going to replicate this for everything we have right here right now. Let's see how we do that. Right now, here we go. I've actually got it completed. If you look at it, if we go back to our backend, so let me just actually come right here, and I'm going to actually make sure I show it. But right now, if I go back to my analysis sheet right now, things are different. So we have this bunch of numbers right here, just like what I've shown you in the previous one. So now the next thing we're going to do right now is to see how we can actually hide this particular sidebar. Right now, if I click on this close, it's not really working. That is working on this one right now. So I want to make sure I have it configured. If I close this, it's going to close, and if I want to open it, it's going to open for me. So how am I going to do that? So it's for me to actually select right here this particular tell me just search for what to select panel. So select pan, or you can come to what to I think it's page layout. So come right here to page layout and click on this selection pan right here, and here we go. We can see we have this select. Every single time we select a particular one, it's gonna have itself highlighted right here. I'm gonna select this one right now. Here we go. It's called filter panel, like this filter panel. Remember this. So right now we need to go to developer and write a little code that's gonna actually hide it and actually reveal it back to us again. So click on this Visual Basic right here. So now here we go. This is the previous one we've written because I have another dashboard open, which is this one. So it's showing the code for us now right now. So now I'm gonna actually click on this particular one because I don't need to work on that. This is the particular project we're working on right now, YouTube HR dashboard. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm going to actually go to insert and insert a new module. So now here we go. A new module had been inserted right here right now. So now we need to actually write that particular code that's going to actually help us do that. So let's see how we can actually write that. So the first thing is to mark the territory of our code, which is going to be sub. So now what is it going to be? It's going to be hr what? Sub hr underscore show underscore hide. Yeah, I think I'm cool with this. So right now we're going to actually have our code to be within this particular sub. So what is going to be there is going to be like, okay, now I want to ask, we have a sheet, and the active sheet right now has some is it button and some other things. So sorry, before I actually proceed, let me show you something right now. So now all we did is to actually group it together. If you can see now, we can move it as well. We have it grouped together. So that is what we've done. So the group is what we've actually named. If I actually click on this right now, and I'm going to move this earn. So this is grouped. If I actually, can you see that it disappears? This is manual. This is what I want to do automatically. Dynamically it's gonna work on its own by clicking the button. So if I go back to the code aspect right here, I'm gonna say okay right now, if active sheet, I'm gonna tell you why if active sheet in the Jeffrey active sheet dot shape. So if active sheet dot shapes, so what shape is available in this sheet, in this active sheet? The present sheet right now has a shape that's actually right there. I'm gonna say filter underscore panel is the name. So filter underscore panel. So if we don't really get it right, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna actually make sure I minimize it to actually show you where the code is. Okay. So if I have it minimized, I'm gonna go right here and you can see this is filter underscore panel. So that is the name of this particular one right here. So if I go back, I'm gonna actually give it the full screen so that we can see it so well. So now I'm gonna have to close this right here. So now if the visibility is what? If the visibility, so if the visibility is false, which means it's not showing right now. So what I want you to do then means what I want you to do, you know, if you go there you can't find it, then you have to come back home. That is just the language right here. So I'm gonna say done. If that is the code right now, I want the active sheet. On the active sheet dot what dot shapes, what is the shape beside it? It's gonna be filter underscore what underscore panel. Have it closed. So I want to show, so I'm gonna set the visibility right now. I'm gonna set it to what? I'm gonna set it to true. Dot true. It's gonna be equal to true. So now this is gonna be equal to not dot. I'm so sorry for that. It's gonna be equal to true. So right now what we're trying to do right now is that if active sheet dot shape, so even if you're not familiar with VBA, this is very simple. You can copy this over and over in your own project as well. So if this active sheet right here, which is the active sheet right now, is this particular sheet, so we can actually decide to, we might want to use the HR dashboard name, which means it's going to only work under HR dashboard name. But right now that we use active sheet, any sheet we actually have open and we want to use this code, we can use it. That was why we refer to it as active sheet, as we would have just say HR dashboard dot HR dashboard, stuff like that. But we don't want to do that. This is what we want to use. So if it is what, if it is not, if this is false, which means it's not showing, when we click it, I want you to reveal what we have under it. So now else, I'm going to copy this and recycle through it. I already told you about recycling in most of my tutorials. I'm going to recycle through it. So I'm going to go say else. If it is not so, I want you to actually make it what? Make it false. Yeah. So I want to set it to false, and now I'm going to say end my if right here. So I'm going to end if. So before I actually click on it to see if this is working or not, I'm going to actually minimize it. Okay, now it's showing up right here. So let's see if this is really working, or if I've actually messed it up. It's working right now. I can toggle trade. It's really working. Can you see that? This is the magic. It's working. So now I want to assign button to this, right? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually have to first of all make sure it's not showing, and I'm going to go back. So now I'm going to have this closed. I have this button right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually right click on this particular aspect right here. So if I right click on it, so it's going to show assign macro. So the macros I have right now, I have this macro and this other macros. So this is the macro we actually written right now, HR show and hide right here. If I click it, so it's what I'm going to have. Guess what? If I have it clicked right now, it shows me, but right now this is not working. So we need to configure it to have it closed. So we're going to assign the same macro to this as well. So I'm going to assign the same macro to this. So now let's see. The second thing I'm going to do, we have it clicked, we have it show, we have it disappear, we have it show, and we have it disappear. This is one part of what we're trying to achieve. So we've achieved this right now. Kudos to you. Thank you for watching this. If you are not a subscriber yet, just hit the subscribe button and actually learn more about my dynamic Excel dashboard. So right now, what we need to do right now, the first thing is for we to create our filter and see how the filter works. So now, how do we create our filter without using the pivot table? It's awesome. I'm going to show you right now. So let me get this away from here without edit. So go away. So now we have to come back to a data source right here and start to write some pretty good function that's going to actually help us to do that. So now here we go. So the first filter we're going to actually create is, let us go to a dashboard. So we need to create filter that don't filter what? Now job role. So I'm going to say job role filter. So go back to the data source and just create that. So I'm going to say job role check. So it's checking if anything is being clicked right now. So the function I'm going to use to do that is just a very near function everyone knows, which we just called all. So it's all. All function is a logical function. It's actually gonna, I have to combine some other cool things together. So right now I'm going to say all. So we go back to the analysis sheet. So we're onto job role, right? If I go back, you see is job role check. So we're checking the job role. So if the in job role, if the filter will be the combo box is being selected and the number selected is equal to 1, so what does it mean? If this is equal to 1, meaning all is being selected, we want you to clear the filter. Else, if it is not the case, right now watch me. I'm gonna like, okay, I want to know what is being selected. Now I'm gonna be using index. You get it? Index is gonna help me to actually do that. So now the index is going to be like find what has been selected right here. So it's going to be asking for the row number. The row number is going to be this particular number right here, using this number. So right now it's going to return this has been selected. Now this is going to work in the aspect of true or false. So what we need to do right now is to have it closed and hit equal to right here. So what we need to do is go back to our data source. Now that we hit it back again, so what we have to do is go to job role and like is what's being selected right there in our filter equal to what we have right here. So we need to actually look at job role. So now here is our job role. I'm gonna have this closed. So I'm gonna have some errors. Now this is what it is. Now I love this. I really want to show you something. That was why I felt like let me just make it default to error. Now if you look at this, it's actually giving me false. It's giving me true. So why is it giving me true right here? If we go to where it's giving us true, I'm going to highlight it so that we can see it better. So where it's giving us true right now is actually the aspect, the job role where we have manufacturing director be selected. If we go right here, what is being selected is manufacturing director right here. It is the 5th one. But if we have it on 1 and I hit enter, if I go back, something different is going to happen. So it's not giving me that true again. Okay, you can see right now what it is just it can work better because we've not locked any of the. So we need to actually lock this down. So I'm gonna actually have to lock this down manually, but after we just do that for you, I'm gonna go down this level. I'm gonna lock this down. Don't worry, we're gonna be speedy to actually create this. Okay, so now we've actually locked everything down. The next thing I have to do right now is to actually commit it, hit enter. Now everything is working fine. Can you see that? That is the error you would encounter. I have to show you that. So now it's showing me everything to be true, but every single time we make a selection and we're specific, why everything is true right now, it's gonna actually give us the whole value we wanted. But if we have like we want to have the sales being, that is number 2, giving us sales executive, and when you go back, what we're gonna see, here we go. So what we're gonna see is true. So we have true right here. It's gonna actually give us true where we have the sales executive. So let us filter it and see what the truths are actually all about. So right now I got it filtered. I'm gonna go down to this level, and what we're gonna see is sales executive under job role. Everything is sales executive. So this is actually awesome, which shows that it is really working for us. So I'm gonna clear the filter and actually create one again before we actually go ahead. Before I go ahead and actually do it behind the scenes to make sure I fasten the tutorial for you guys so that it can actually be shared. So now I'm going to do it for department. So now I'm going to say department check. This time around we're going to do it sharply. So department check right now. So it's going to be the same process. I'm going to say all. So now watch me do it. So now if you have done that, so what you need to do right now is to ask question under the department. So is this particular one right here equal to 1? If yes, clear the filter once 1 is being the case right here. But if it is not, I want you to actually use this index to search what had been selected and make it true for me. Then you calculate around that. I hope you get. So I'm gonna say okay, it's gonna ask for the row number, and the row number is going to be this, right? So I'm gonna have to close it. But before we do that, we need to actually lock this particular aspect down, just like we did before. So now that we've done that, I'm going to say equal to. So is what is being selected right now based on this number, is it equal to what? To the department we have right here. So what we do is go back and actually go and locate our department. So where's our department? Is it equal to this department we have right here? So I'm going to have to close this and hit enter. So what do I have? You see some bunch of truths, because what we have selected right here is actually 1, which means everything's going to be true. So now what we have 2 selected. So go to department, and let me just go to the dashboard and follow the dashboard to do it. I'm going to go to sales. Now if we come back right here, it's number 1 is 2. So right now if we go back to a data set, this is going to be true, false, stuff like that. So this is how we create this. So let us speed something up and actually come back and create more awesome wherever. So right now we've created the whole filter behind the scene. Now this is what you can see right here. So we have the filter named 1, 2, 3, and we included your various names. So now we can use that to actually create our analysis. Let's see how that's going to be. So we are going to do it, the analysis right now. So right now we're going to the analysis part. So we want to see how many employees we have under sales department, research department, and human resources department. So right now what we're going to be using right now is what we call table nomenclature. So right now let me go back. So if I go back right here, click on this particular table. So if I hit right here, I'm going to see that our table name is actually HR data. So we purposely did this because we're going to be using this in our analysis. So going back, and I'm going to hit right here. So now the function we're about to use is actually called Sumproducts. It's a very powerful function. I'm going to say Sumproducts. Here we have a suggestion. So click on what your tab and it's going to come into it. So now after taking the Sumproducts, we need the array. So the array right now is going to be our table. That is the hot table. So we don't have to go and highlight the hot table again. I'm going to just type HR. So now HR data will give us the table, the hot table. So we need some column from the table. So what column do we need? We need column department. So how do we get it? Just make sure you have this bracket open. Now it's going to give you all the columns available in this very table, because we named our table HR data. So every single time we put on our table and we have this square bracket opened, so it's going to give us all the columns we have right in it. So now here we go. We can see we have the filter to be named 1 to 6, right? So all you just gotta do, you don't have to search through it, just type your 1 and it's going to give you the first filter, which is the job role check, right? So I'm going to actually click on my tab and I have it. So I'm going to close the square brackets right here right now. So you think that works? That is not what it is. But first of all, what you need to do before you actually place your filter on it is for you to actually check the department selected. Is it? I'll go to the department. I'm going to see the department right here. I'm going to close the square bracket. So if there is any of this particular, in this very column, do we have sales as a department? That is the question. In this particular column, department, do we have sales? So that is the question it's going to ask. If it's true we have sales, I want you to multiply it. Just give it a multiply by what? By the filter. So how do we do that? So excuse me, let me just make sure I give you a very nice screen that you're going to actually have to be okay with. So I've zoomed closely to the screen. So right now you can see, if you can see it fine, very fine right here, so please watch this particular aspect. You can see it there, but we are still going to actually be using this aspect. So right now we've checked the department selected and we checked the column department. So do we have sales in that department? If yes, I want to multiply this by my filter. If the filter has some kind of selection that is peculiar, so I want you to do something. So right now the next thing I'm going to do is open another what? Is open another bracket. But right now I'm going to have to open the bracket right here. So right now it is being closed. So right now I've actually gotten that bracket open. So I'm going to say the HR data as well, the whole data. Inside it we have filters. I want to use the first filter on it. So the first filter is going to be 1, right? The first filter is going to be 1. I'm going to say okay to it. I'm going to have it closed right here. If I close this right now, I close this, I have it closed all. So let us try to see the job role that we've selected right now, how it's going to work. If I hit OK, I have in the sales department, I have 446. So I'm going to actually have to copy this down. So you're going to see now I have 63 right here. So right now we actually use the job role filter. So if I go back to my dashboard and choose under the job role and come right here and choose just sales executive, I'm going to go back to the analysis sheet right here, and you can see under the executive we don't have any of these to have value. We only have the value to be under sales. So if I go back again and test it out again to do something different this time around, I'm going to choose the manager level. Oh sorry, here we go. I'm going to choose what? I'm going to choose the manager. So if we go back and we hit on this particular aspect, we can see under the manager we have 37, 54 and 11 each. So right now, which means it's really working for us. I'm going to actually clear this for now. So I'm going to multiply this again. So we are trying to include another filter on it, so we can actually pack in all our filter right here right now if we think we want to filter it with everything. So what I'm going to do right now is just to say okay, right now I'll put in the bracket, so I need the data just like what we've done previously, and I'm going to actually say okay, give me the column with this particular filter. Right now here we go. I'm going to actually hit on it and I have it closed. I have it closed, and if I hit enter right now, oh sorry, something is wrong. So yeah, the reason why it's not working is the square bracket has not been closed right here. So I'm gonna actually close it and I hit enter, so it's working for me right now. So I have to copy it all the way up. So now here we go. It's the filter is on it. It's really working for us very well right now. So the next thing we're gonna do is just for we to fill in the filter. I've shown you how to do that. So let us recap before I actually go further. So what we've done is this: we've actually input our Sumproduct function, and after that we actually try to check for the we actually input the hot table we have, which is HR data, and we check the department. Is there any in the department column? Do we have sales department? It says yes, and if we have sales department, I want you to calculate how many people are in the sales department, and based on the filter that is going to actually now have to replace the name. and we'll use this filter called job raw filter, and we'll use department filter on it. So we see how other filters we can actually put right here to work for us. So let us see how that works. Behind this, I'm going to put on all the filter now that you've learned how to actually include your filter, and let's see how that goes. Now we have all our filters being configured right here. If I actually make it wider than this, okay, fine. Oh, we can see that. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, fine. So we have all our filter packed in right now, so everything is working fine. There is no filter on it. We've removed all the filter. If we go back to the dashboard, we see we're showing all right here. So the first thing we're going to do right now is to create our first chart with this. So I'm going to select the whole step, and I'm going to go to insert right here, and I'm going to choose the kind of chart I really want to actually have right here. So if I go to recommend their chart, I'm going to choose the kind of chart I really want for it right now. I think I'm going to be needing something like this waterfall. I prefer this right to show that. So if I'm going to hit OK right here, I'm going to have this. So right now we need to actually make sure I don't need this axis. So I don't need this. I'm going to take it off. I don't need this either. I'm going to take it off. So I don't need the, so we're going to make it smaller. So I'm going to take this away from here. I'm going to cut it away from here. I'm going to take it on the dashboard. So here we go. I have it pasted right here right now. So we can now format it to what we feel like. Cool with it. So what I can do right now, I want to remove the background. So I can actually double click from here. So after double clicking, I'm going to have this. I'm going to say no fill. I'm going to go to the border. I'm going to say no border as well. So right now I can go ahead and change the color to the color I want by double clicking on this. It's going to actually highlight this alone for me. So here we go. Sorry. Now we have it highlighted alone. So I'm going to go to the fill color to be something I really feel cool with. I think I'm going to go with this color for now. I don't know if this is really good. It's not the best idea. I can actually go for something cooler than that. I'm going to go for a lighter color. I think I'll prefer something like this. Cool. So I can give this and that color that's going to look so nice in it. So I have it selected alone. Oh, make sure you selected this one alone. So here we go with those colors, but what to make it stand out, I'm gonna actually have to highlight everything all together. So just click on everything we have right inside it. So once you have it clicked, just go to right here and click on shadow. So give it a shadow, it's gonna make it stand out from the background we have it. So now we just done this, we're gonna actually make sure we do this. Oh, I forgot, if we do this, it's gonna actually remove our colors. The colors we actually gave to it is gonna be removed. So all you just can do is for you to actually give it back the colors you really have for it again, and it's gonna stick to it right now. So we've actually done the formatting before now, so we can actually give it the nice color we actually have at it. I can actually give this that same color I feel like is cool with. So now I think this is very nice, right? So you always remove, say no line to it. I'm gonna come right here, I'm gonna say no line to this as well, so it stand out. I'm gonna say no line to this. I think that is cool. If I actually highlight, leave the highlight. So right now this is what I have my chart ready. So right now let's check it out. So under this particular let's say we come in and it's being closed, we can actually have it open and actually place our filter in the job row. So when I see all the for the sales department right here, if I click on sales department, you can see it's actually changing. In sales department it's been selected. So right now what I want to show you is that we don't need to filter department with department chart. So what we need to do right now is to go back to analysis page. I'm going to click on right here and I'm going to locate where I have my department. So my department is actually this particular department check right here. So I'm going to actually from here I'm going to start to actually get it off. I purposely did it because I want to show you something. So that is what it is. So I'm going to actually say okay to it right now, and if I come and actually make sure I give it to all, now I have it back right now. So if I go back, so we have it back. So we can filter the sales department with department. Now it's not really working for us again, so I can say oh, that is cool. But right now we can check in this department, in those departments we have right here, so how many of them are really has the most very satisfied job. So you can see it's gonna filter down. So this is exactly what we really want. So I'm gonna actually double clicking on this, and I'm gonna get this back again. Double click on it, get it back. So I'm gonna say no line. So here we go, we have it as plain as this. So the next thing we're gonna do is for we to actually get this chart we have right here down here. So it's for, let us see how we can work in that. So to get the job role, so we're gonna be just doing something a little bit different, but now we don't have to write the same thing over and over again. All we can do is just to recycle through this. I always talk about recycling, so we can recycle through our code. So now that we are going to recycle through this, so what we need to do is copy this away from here and come down right here and have it pasted. Just have it pasted here. Now it's giving all the same thing, right? So if we look at it, it's still looking at this particular aspect. So what we need to do is just to change this angle down here. So if I hit enter, nothing happens, right? There's nothing reasonable that happens right now. So what we need to do is try to change this to what? To job role. Just change this aspect alone to what? To, sorry, just leave the data as alone. I'm just going to change this aspect right now. So it's going to show me the core column. So what I need to do is the job row. Check it out. So now we need to actually change this as well to what? To this particular human resources. So exactly what we've done right here is what we're doing, but we just recycle through our code because we don't have to write it over and over again. If we have to write it, we are still going to write the same thing. So right now what to search in this particular column called job role? Do we have human resources? Do we have research director? Do we have sales representative? So if we have them, so I want to see how many people are there in that particular department. So right now I'm gonna actually have to close this square bracket right here. If I hit enter, I have 10 people right in human resources based on the current filter. So if I actually go this way, I'm gonna have this right now. So now those are the people we have valuable. So next thing I'm gonna do right now is just to copy this away from here. It's gonna be very easy to be copied. So I have it copied. So now we want to see how we do this. So I want to get how many male and how many females we have right here. If I double click, the next thing I'm going to do is for me to come to this particular aspect and have it multiply again, multiply and open this bracket and say HR. So check for what? For the gender. Gender has the male and the female, right? I'm going to say gender. So where gender is what? I'm going to have to close the square bracket is equal to male or female. So I'm not going to type it manually. I'm going to select this particular aspect right here, so and have it closed. So if I hit enter right now, I have only two what? I have only two female. So if I double click and drag this down, you can see I don't have any other female right here. Do I? Something is messing around. Can you see that? Can you see that? That is the reason why it's not really working. So sorry for that. So now let's check it out. What is going on? So what is going on is actually we need to actually lock this down. We don't want it to move away from where it is, so we need to lock it down. So what we're gonna do is for we to actually lock the I down. So we're in the I, so we've locked it down. So right now you can see if I copy this down, it's gonna work very fine. So this is exactly what it is. So out of 10 employees we have right in human resources, we have 2 of them to be female. So let's just check it out and see how many of them are male. So I'm gonna copy this and just tweak it to something nice. So to check for the male, instead of I right here, you can check for J. So cool, we shifted it. So if I hit OK, so we have 8 of them. So add 8 to 2, we're gonna have 10. Exactly, that is what it is. A very nice match. So here we go. And now let's see what the magic is gonna look like. So if I actually sum this up, if I sum this column up right now, I'm gonna sum it up. I'm gonna hit enter. We have 289. So I'm gonna actually sum this up as well, so I make sure I have something equal to what we have right there. I'm gonna select the whole aspect right here I'm gonna do this. So now this is really working for us. It's a very good verification that you need to do to see that okay, what you're doing is actually working fine. So now when we actually added everything we have right here together, so we arrive at 289, and we did the same thing to this, we arrive at this particular aspect. So now we need to create our chart. So how do we do that? So we just select the area we want to actually create a chart, and go to what, go to insert, and insert the kind of chart you really want to use for this. So here we go. We can now go for this particular type of chart. I think it's cool, right? It's really cool. So I need to go for this type of chart, but now I prefer something like this, nicely. But this is not how it looks on my other dashboard. I would actually show you how this is gonna go. So now we have to get the title away from here. We don't want it, and we need to actually get the grid line off, as we don't want it. So now I'm gonna actually make sure I make it a little bit smaller. So we don't want this either. So now here we go. I can actually cut it away from here and go to my main dashboard and actually have it pasted right here. I'm gonna paste it down here. So here we go. So it's right here. So right now, so all we need to do is just double click on it and actually come up with this, and I'm gonna select the house of the chart. I'm gonna say no fill and no line. So now we have this revealed. I'm gonna click on this inside it, and I'm gonna actually make it down. So now here we go, nicely. So we need to get this to the top level, right? I'm gonna go this way. Okay, let's just leave it to the down level right here. I'm gonna make sure I bring it down a little bit, and here we go, nicely, right? So I'm gonna select this and actually make sure I go to this series aspect, and here we go. So if we look at our chart right now, we don't have to concern ourselves much about the formatting. If we go back to the main dashboard we've actually created before now, I'm gonna click on it. I think here we go, HR dashboard. So now here we go, we can see this is where the label is. So we want to actually make it like this. How do we do that? So as you can see, we can start to actually give it the color that is going to actually stand out. So you can actually double click within here, so you bring this particular format plot area up. So just click on the particular aspect you want to have changed. So we want to actually change this to a particular color, so we might really need a very cool color for it. So what if we go for this color? It's gonna be cool, right? I think you can actually go for this kind of color as well. It looks cool on my dashboard. So now I might not really go for that because it's too very obvious. I love that. So now you can choose to make sure the color correlates with what you have right in your dashboard. So I have something like this. What about this? That is cool, right? So we're done with this. The next thing I'm going to do right now, I want to include my data label. So I can actually click on right here, and actually I include my data label right here. So this is exactly what it is. You can actually click on it and go and make it bold to actually show in a very bold format. So how about this? So right now, if we go to this particular filter right now and select for the sales department alone, so you're gonna see the job role in the sales department is only for executive, manager, and sales representative level. So now if I place my cursor right here, I can see how many female I have, and if I place my cursor right here, I can see how many male I really have, and all of that. So this is very awesome. So this is how we build this dynamic chart we have right here. So the next thing now is for you to take the level of attrition right here. So how are we going to work on this? So let's see how we do that right here. I'm going to go to analysis. So now I'm going to have this closed right now. I'm going to go down. So here we go. Now what I'm going to do right now is for me to actually bring in this. So I'm going to copy this away from here. Okay, fine. I'm going to recopy this. Yeah, I have it copied, and I'm gonna actually make sure I bring it down to the total aspect right here, and here we go. So what we've done previously is what we're gonna do again. We just need to change the aspect right here where it says job role needs to be changed to attrition. So I'm gonna change this to what? To attrition. And I'm gonna make sure this is actually L. Is L now. So if that is L, I'm gonna hit enter. Oh, something's wrong. Okay, fine. I need to have this closed, this bracket closed. So L is gonna be L29, I presume. I think this is gonna be L30, so I'm gonna actually give it L30. So it's gonna be 30. Now it's looking at that. If I hit enter, here is what I have, the level of attrition. So now we go this way. So we can create chart for this. So what are we trying to say right here? So the years is actually people who had left, and people who we have in the organization currently is 1, 2, 3, 3 exactly. So right now what I want to do, we need to actually chart this up. By clicking on this, we actually commit it to a chart, go to insert, and insert this kind of chart really want for it. And I'm going to go for this particular chart we have right here. I'm going to take off my years, and I'm going to take off this particular aspect as well. I'm going to shrink it a little bit, make sure it sits well at where I'm going to take it to. I'm going to double click on it and have the whole aspect highlighted. I'm going to say no and no fill, and this time around we go and we click inside here, we're going to say no outline as well. So how about this? This is really nice. So I'm going to cut it away from here and go to my dashboard. Here we go. I'm going to paste it right here. So nicely we have it here. It's exactly how I built my dashboard. So I'm going to make sure it covers it. So what we need to do right now is just to change the chart color to the color we're gonna be cool with. So what if we go for this color and we decide to actually change this to maybe white color that is gonna sit right with a background wherever. I think it's gonna be cool. So now it's almost just like what we have right there. So the next thing to do right now to know the level of attrition is for we to actually get those numbers right here to be just like what we have right here. You can see people we have in the organization and people who had actually left our organization. This is what it is. So if I go back again, so what I need to do is just to actually make sure we do that to this as well. So it's very simple. All you need to do is just to insert this particular word that's right here, insert it, and here it's okay. We have it right here. So Ctrl Z, we're going to take it back. We don't want it now. Okay, fine. You can actually come up with it this time around. So click somewhere else and actually bring it right in. So I'm going to choose this, and here we go. Just add your equal to right here and actually go to the analysis and make sure you have this as people who had left, and here we go. So if I bring it to the top right here, so people who had left is going to be right here, and I cannot duplicate this, and actually this one is going to be for people who are in the organization. So I'm going to actually highlight everything and go back again. So I will give it this. So right now I can actually duplicate this and make sure I actually remove the from here. I don't need it again. So this time around I'm going to actually do something different. I'm going to say in. So people who are in is going to be in. I'll put it this way. I'll duplicate it, and I'm here, and here I'm going to say out. So how about it? So here we go, something like this. So let me just give it a very nice formatting. For the business travel we have right here, I've done the analysis just like what we've done previously. Right on this one is exactly what I've done, so I can actually go and chart it out and see what we can actually have right there. And the kind of chart we're going to use is this particular chart right here. So I'm going to say OK to it, and I'm going to remove the axis we have right on this. So I wouldn't have to keep the grid line as well. I'm going to remove it. So this time around I'm going to actually make it a little bit smaller, and we can now get this away from here. So about this, I'm going to get this away from here, cut it away, and I'm going to take it to my dashboard. So let's see how that goes. So now I can actually make sure it goes this way to cover everything. So if I double click inside of it, so I'm gonna have this out. So what I'm gonna do, I'll make sure I highlight everything and remove where the field and the border is gonna go off. So I click inside it and actually make sure it goes a little bit down. So nicely, this is what it is. So now you can decide to come to it and actually make sure you give it something nice like this. You can format it to whatever you want, whatever chart you will actually have it, and this is going to be, oh nice. If you want to have it closed, I think I love something like this nicely. So now we can see the total employee is actually this particular color that is showing us the total employee that actually we keep look at it. Now we have travel frequently is on this particular color, which is this travel frequently, and this one is travel rarely and is on this color. So now let me show you what it is. If I go back to the analysis page right here, and you see total employee is actually this, so which means we have 277 employees that actually travel frequently, and out of this 277 we have 160 to be male and 117, which is 117 to be female. That is exactly what the chart is actually teaching us right now. So the next thing we're going to actually do right now is for we to get the total employee we have right here, the total male and the total female. So what we're going to do right now, we don't need to actually write something over and over again. So all we need to do is just to actually drag this down to this particular level. So now here we go. This has actually given us that, but we really need to do this because we have a formula we can actually use to do this. We want to actually get a percentage. So what if we actually do this by creating the analysis for it? Else we can actually do this by having this right here, but we don't want to actually make it disorganized. So I'm going to actually cancel with this right now and make sure I run the calculation right here and show you how to actually create your own percentage as well. Now what I've done right here is actually just to actually use the same formula we've been using, and as well we added the filters we have in it. So now we've done that and we drag it down. I'll calculate the total. So the total is going to be still the same thing, is going to have to correlate with what we have right here, else is not correct. So we have the same total right now. To calculate the percentage is very easy. All we do is just to actually make sure we have this divided by the total. It's going to give us the percentage of what, of male to female. Now we do the same thing, we divide this by this particular total and it gives us this. Now if we add this percentage together, it's going to give us 100%. So now we have 40% of the total employee to be female and stuff like that. So what we do right now is to get this right on our dashboard. So we can get this right here. I can actually always do this by duplicating this right now. I can actually bring the total employee we have in the organization right here. So if I go back to my analysis page, so I'm going to get this right there. So now this is the total. So for the male, we can do the same thing to get it right here. So now what we need to do is just to make sure we have it on the right format that's going to actually be readable. So I'm going to go to the top level right here and change the size of the numbers right here to be okay. I think something like this. So I'm going to make sure I go to the top level here. Before then, I'm going to have to make sure one is actually sitting right where I really wanted it. So like this one now is going to sit right here, and I'm going to go to this particular one and actually make it bolder to stand out from the other one. So now I'm going to click on this. So I'll go to the top of formatting and I'm going to say go to the top level. So they are both aligned very well. So right now what we need to get right now is for we to get the percentage of the male and the percentage of the female right here. Dynamically is going to work as well with this. So I have to just click on this one and get the percentage of female and male down right here. I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna say for male I have 60% of them to be this. So we go, and if I actually copy this, I'm gonna bring it right here and I'm gonna give it this particular -1 as well. Here we go. So this is for the female. I have it this way. So this is exactly what it is. So we can actually make sure we have a chart like this. So the next chart, which is almost the last part of this tutorial, is right here. Is for we to actually get to work with how long has how many numbers have been with us, like our years at company value. So 9 years ago, how many workers do we still have that had been with us since 9 years ago? 10, 11, 6, and other. And when last was a particular or some numbers of particular employees actually got promoted, so we will actually get to do all that. So it's still something again we are going to recycle through. I've shown you how to do that. So right now behind the scene, let's see what we can do. But before then, let us quickly do this together. Should you're still watching and you want to get it whole just all together, it's very simple and nice. So I'm going to copy this away from here, and I'm going to have to paste this right on the value aspect right here. So now it's watching here, so I'm going to actually make sure I move it down to this aspect. And now the question I'm going to ask is this: do we have a column existing that is called year? So I'm gonna go down year since last promotion. So here we go, we have it. I'm gonna have to close it right here right now. So what I'm gonna do right now is to change this from this to this. Is there any one of it equal to this? So if yes, I want you to give us a calculation. Okay, I'm gonna drag this down. Now we call this way. This is wrong. I'm gonna cancel it. Okay, so we don't need any of this, we take it away. So now we do the same thing that we've done right here. We do it to this as well. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to have to paste this right here. So what I need to do is just change this aspect that is going to actually look at our code. So now I move this away from here, I move it down right here, and I'm going to go to what? This particular yes is promoted. I'm going to remove it. I don't need it. So what I'm going to need is year at company. So I'm going to scroll down, year at company, we have it. So before we do that, this is what I need to get. I need to get this particular one right here equal to this. If I hit enter, okay, that is nice. Is this space too much? Yeah, this space is really much. I have it closed. Oh, the space. So now it's working fine. Let us create the kind of chart we really want to create. I'm going to show you a little trick to do this nicely. So now let's see how that trick is going to work. So first of all, I'm going to actually have to insert this type of chart right now, which is awesome. This is cool. So now next thing is for me to actually get this as well and insert the type of chart I really want for it, and it's going to be working so fine. Oh, nicely done. So we have those two charts like this. So now the reason why we're having them like this is this: if you want to actually make sure this starts from the lowest to the highest, what we need to do is just to convert this into a table. Like I'm going to convert this into a table right now. Oh, sorry, we can't do that. So I have to select the segment I really want to have converted into a table so that it can actually be on that alone. So here we go, we have this part to be into a table. I'm gonna say okay. So right now I can actually right click on this one now and like, okay, I want you to actually sort. I'm gonna right click on this and I'll be like, I want you to sort from what? From largest to lowest or smallest to largest, wherever it is. So now it's something different right now. So let's say we want to actually make sure we have it like this, but in the previous aspect it's really cool, is okay, but sometimes at default it will not be like what we have right now, but it is really cool right now. So now we have this. So I'm gonna make sure we go to the dashboard and have this placed on the dashboard to see what it is that we've actually done. Okay, fine. So I will double click on it and I'm going to remove the fill color and I'm going to remove the border away from here. So if I click on it right now, what I'm going to do is to cut it away from here down to the dashboard. So let's see how it's going to look at on the dashboard for us now. Here we go. So I'll remove this away from here and I'm going to go down. So it's looking nice. Oh, the heck. Okay, I have to get this away. I don't need this. And now I'm going to change the color to something very nice, and the first color I'm going to use is this particular color right here. I love this color. And we go right here and actually make sure we crank up this. So we have something like this. So what if we put the data label on it? We have it nicely on it like this. We can see how many employees that have been with us I'm gonna actually remove this value we have right on it. How many employees that had been promoted since that had never gotten promotion since like 7 years ago? This is the last time they got promoted, so we need to actually promote this. Promotion. We need to actually give them promotions. We can check it out who are the people in the organization, and we can actually do something very cool for these people as well. So let us get the second chart right. So the second chart here, all we need to do is to give it this same color that is going to actually stand out, just like what we have right here. It actually correlates with what we have on top of this. So right now, this is exactly how to build this. So now you can see every single time we now go ahead and place filter on this particular dynamic dashboard we've actually built, the filter is going to respond. So I want to see people who are very satisfied, so I'm going to go to very satisfied, and you see my chart will definitely update. Every part of it is working right now, so based on how we really want it to work. So if you go ahead and remove it, you're going to have them just a bit like this. So right now, what if you want to actually get to see people who have been trained only once? So you can see the number of people who have been trained for once. Maybe you have to do something and actually search where those people in the company. So this is exactly what you can actually do. Right now is working well for the percentage of the male and the female, and the level of attrition is exactly where you're going to know how many persons are currently in the organization right now, because the 71%, the 71 number right here you see is not the total number of people we have in the organization. It's actually the total number of people we've actually employed over time. But if we want to get the total number of people in the organization currently, we check the level of attrition. And I believe you know what attrition really means. Attrition means the movement of people out of the organization. It could be either through resignation or whatever. So all of that. So now we have 62 people available currently right now, and 9 is out that had never been replaced. So all of that, this is how we build a very high dynamic interactive Excel dashboard from the scratch. So this Excel dashboard video tutorial will take you from 0 to something. So I believe this really work with you guys. So all you need to do right now is for you to just give it a thumbs up, and as well leave a comment if you feel like this is actually matching through what you're looking for on YouTube. So kind of give me a feedback by hitting the comment section to let me know what you feel about this. If you've not been a subscriber before now, leave that particular aspect a very colorful click by actually hitting on it to just subscribe to my account and be with me every single time I upload. So thanks for watching.